What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take NFL DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I, of course, am joined by the two OGs. First up, you can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 Ds. The 7 wasn't good enough. Paulie was happening.
What's up, man? How's it going, everybody?
Going good here, man. Just in the midst of a grind, enjoying this little slow baseball time because NBA starts next week and it's back to busy season. Also joined by Skinny Joe over there. You can find him on Twitter at Patio Joe Ref. I'm going to call you Skinny Joe, the man formerly known as Patio Joe. Joe, what's happening?
Not much, dude. It's week 6 already. Between the stresses of trying to get my kids to sleep, I'm glad that I'm here. Talk some week 6. Cash game Oracle is 4-1, smashing last week. Top 10% in every one of the cash games. Absolutely smashed. Come on, join the nation. I'm telling you, the cash game Oracle is smoking right now.
Yeah, man, you've been on fire. You've been on fire. I think it's been a pretty, I don't know, man. For me, anyway, like the slate just kind of sometimes, a lot of times you get dumped with some shit and then it ends up not working out. You're like, all right, that should have worked a little harder. It's been the opposite. And for me, it's more been like I'm getting the last one in has been correct. It's more of the just the initial stack part. But it's been one of the more predictable seasons for me, and that's rare because usually it takes me about to week 7, 8 to really get in the groove. Paulie, what about you, bro? How's the season be treating you, man?
I mean, my play not well at all. I just haven't had many teams get to the top and hang there. I've had a couple contenders, but I always seem to, find something go wrong. Something I was heavy on didn't go my way kind of deal. I had a shit ton of AJ Brown last week. I had a ton right. So much right. So much the low own shit right. And then I got AJ Brown, and some run back from the other side that didn't do well. And a lot of just dampers on stuff that I was kind of heaviest on ultimately just brings you down. But I feel as a whole though, I've been seeing it well, like you said, it's been the most predictable. I feel like I've gotten most of my article plays right. So I should be doing better. That's a little frustrating, but I feel good about what I'm seeing, what's happened and picking the right stuff. So I'm confident something good's coming.
Yeah, it's funny. In week 5, so I play very simple. I played in 100-man, 300-something people. I had 5 teams in there, and I had 5 teams in a Millie Maker, right?
Yeah.
I min cashed.
I seen that.
You saw that. Min cashed 4 to 5
yeah.
teams in a Millie Maker. It didn't cash one team in the $100. So contest selection does matter. While the 300 may be easier to win, clearly it's a much tougher field. Just keep that in mind. So it should have been a winning week. Ended up being a losing week because I was just in a contest that didn't suit what I had. Anyway, week 6, it's a wild one. We got the bye starting up, so not as big as some of these other slates. And I know you with the three of us were just talking before the show. I don't want to talk too much, but there's one game that certainly stands out. I mean, there's a couple good games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
There's a lot of good games.
Yeah,
actually.
there's a lot of good games.
You could
but there's one, especially with pricing on some of these guys, there's one that really stands out, right? And to me, it's the Chiefs and Washington football team, which maybe coming into the season, if you heard that game, you'd kind of just be like, okay, whatever. But the way Washington's defense has been, the way the Chiefs defense has been, it's been wild, man. And I'm finding, I know it's early, but I'm having a hard time getting away from that. So I'm curious to build these teams with you guys and kind of see where your guys' head are at. Obviously, the build will be different on FanDuel and DraftKings because of the pricing and the rules and whatnot. But we'll go ahead and let's start off with a DraftKings team. And the question is, for this specific, now again, this team is not necessarily a cash game or a tournament. We're just trying to build a good team, on a fucking Thursday morning, Wednesday night, right? Real early. That being said, DraftKings is first. What are we doing? Travis Kelce at 7K or not? Let's just get that out the way.
Yes.
I think you have to,
right?
Yes.
How do you not? That's a ridiculous price.
So normally we start off with the stack. That to me seems like that's the first thing you got to address to yourself when you're building a team this week. Are you doing this or not? And situation could change, right? Tyreek Hill questionable. I think we all think he's gonna play, but he's still questionable technically. CEH out. So there's things to consider. That being said, Kelsey's in.
Wait, so to clarify, like we're all gung ho Travis Kelsey, assuming Hill's gonna play.
Yeah.
If Hill gets ruled out, like what's his
Oh
ownership?
man,
75%.
it might already. It's 7K. It might already be. But yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So that being said, I'll let you guys kind of guide me here. We got Kelsey in. You want to start with a stack, or is there a specific piece you want in there? We normally start with a stack. I like starting with a stack. What do you guys think?
Um,
I'll defer to you because I have other thoughts on how to attack this slate, in my opinion. But if you want to go with the stack with the KC Washington stack, I'm cool with that. I personally want to attack the Chargers Baltimore game.
I would too.
That's my personal, and that's not because I'm a Charger fan. I actually like the Baltimore side a little bit.
I do too.
I feel like in almost all formats and all sites, Lamar Jackson should be your first question to lock him in because he's priced right around where all the
7-4. It is. He's got a ridiculous price too for what he can do.
FanDuel, he's cheap too. Like we'll get to that too. Like if it's between him or Herbert, I'll just take Lamar just from the rushing upside that he provides. That game's going to be back and forth. Both defenses are leaky. Like I can't see Baltimore coming off of almost 5 quarters of playing Indy, and then you got the Chargers come in with that offense and having them stop and not having Lamar having to come back and having to keep coming back.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there. Like, I have zero respect for Baltimore's D and a ton of respect for the Chargers offense. Like, I don't see how the Chargers don't score the ball. And I do think the Chargers are going to like continue to improve and become a solid defense. But I think Baltimore has like the skill set to move the ball on. Because what you want to do against the Chargers is run the ball, as you know, the Browns showed us last week and other teams have as well. And that's what the Ravens do best. So I think this game is high scoring as well. I'm so lost on where I think the field's going to be on stuff. But I kind of think Lamar and Kelsey are going to be like the two most popular players, unless like Mahomes in that Washington game because of Kelsey. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Darrell Williams also will be heavily just owned on a lot of forms because he's 4,900 on DraftKings. He's I think he's 5,200 on FanDuel. So to me, I just think that like people are going to take the free square, even though he's not like he's like this week's vanilla. He's this week's Damian Williams. The value guy that we got in because the prices came out before CEH got hurt on Sunday.
I know.
That's why I think the public will go to him.
Okay. Let's put in some running backs then. Like, okay. Do you think we put him into the lineup? CK, where are you on Williams of Kansas City? Because there's a couple Williams out there.
Yeah, I think if you're not playing Mahomes, then it's hard to get around. Like at this point, if I had to pick right now, as of now, I would lean towards right? Because it's just the game's going to be high scoring. He's cheap. But there are scenarios where this, doesn't go great for him, right? And they also have Jerick McKinnon, who's on the bench. Yep. So, like, I'm not opposed to doing the fade. In cash games, obviously, on draft, I wouldn't mess around. I mean, this dude, he didn't play that much, and he still got 5 targets in the last game. But in a tournament scenario, I as of right now, I'm, like, hesitant. You know what I'm saying? Maybe come Sunday, he's in the core plays article. But right now, I'm like...
I agree. Like, I don't think he's got such a high ceiling, but his point per dollar ceiling is high. I think you can play him with Mahomes.
Absolutely.
Like, it
bro,
don't
my
matter,
initial build had like Mahomes, Williams, Tyreek Hill, and Kelsey. Like, it was very difficult to make that work. But yeah,
I have a little bit of a contrarian play if we want to go off the chalk. If you think everybody's going to go with Darrell Williams in that game, why don't we go the opposite end and go McKissick for $100 less? If we're thinking it's going to be an up-tempo game, that's usually game script-wise is McKissick type of a game. He's going to get his targets.
I mean, I completely agree. You could have played both Hunt and Chubb last week. Like these two running backs are firmly in play in this game because Washington don't really have many people they like to get the ball to. And McKissick's cheaper. DraftKings only, right? Like you talk about.
I'm saying DraftKings, it's like a total going off the chalk. It's the same price, and if Darrell Williams busts out and McKissick has one of those games where they're behind,
you don't got to do much.
Yeah.
Like 8 to 10 catches, a touchdown, and a whole bunch of yards and some rushing yards. Like he can get to 25, and if he gets 2 touchdowns, he gets to 30 and like over 100 yards receiving. He's got to break a big play. I like him too. I could put him in instead.
Yeah.
Put who in? I was trying to fix
J.D.
McKissick.
4.8K.
That's very tournament of you guys.
It's a little
This is
funny, but
tournament lineup.
No, I mean it's whatever. It's like the way I see it is like if I say I was building one team on the week, right? He wouldn't make that team, right? But
Okay, so this is like your main
to-
team that you would
to me
submit
that's
if
how
you were
I view
playing
like
the monster.
not calling it a cash
Okay.
tournament. It's like you're building one team. If you're building one team, like who's in there? I think it's a great tournament pivot, but like that's a dude. If I got one team, that's a dude with a floor of like 1. You know what I mean? Now I do know Antonio Gibson
absolutely not.
recently revealed that he's got a hairline fracture in his shin that he's been playing through. So I mean that's neither here nor there. He's still playing. He's apparently playing through it. But I like the contrarianism. But like if I got one squad, like no way. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't hate. I'd rather just go to Gibson. I'd rather just find if we're not playing Mahomes anyway, and we're not playing Tyreek Hill. We haven't gotten that far. But if we're not, I mean, shit, right? I'd rather just go.
Are
Gibson.
you how confident are you that the Redskins can lead this game?
Not very confident. I just don't see the way their defense is played. Which, like, let's talk about that first. What's up with the defense? Like, they're not any different from last year. They were so good last.
Nope.
Like, what happened? Like, what did everybody? I don't know. I got nothing. That I guess that's like the
Something's going on
Yeah.
there, man. There's something that doesn't feel right to me about their team vibe, and I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. But, and Mahomes looked like he knew he was going to lose that game from the start last week, and like that's not good.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. But I keep calling them the Redskins, the football team. As good as their defense
So,
was,
like-
man. I don't know. There's complete drop off.
The Redskins are missing their number 1 tight end, their number 2 and number 3 receivers. It's McLaurin, Humphreys, and the 2 running backs. Like. And Seals Jones, who's crazy cheap and an amazing play if you're not playing Kelsey or play them both. But so if you see the Chiefs leading, they're very confident about that. Redskins from behind. Like, who's your favorite Redskin? McLaurin?
McLaurin.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say so. Honestly, even I still don't mind Antonio Gibson. I mean, you're paying more for him, and I'm not saying that like he would be first one in one team for me, but I don't have. They're gonna find a way to get him the ball. They've done it every single game. They found ways to get him the ball and get him his touches. But yeah, McLaurin would be the if you just want to say screw it, McLaurin would be the one if we were going that route.
Let me ask you this: how popular will Macaulay Hardman be if Tyreek Hill sits?
Well,
Pretty popular. Yeah, pretty popular.
They got Josh Gordon there too, man.
Yeah, but he only had 1 catch for 11 yards. And,
Well,
he didn't do a ton of snap
they had
plays.
said that like they had planned on playing like I don't know a decent amount, and then it didn't work out. He played like 20% of the snaps just because of the game flow. Like what it probably was. They probably thought they were gonna walk in there and roll some ass, and when it didn't go that way, they were like, "Nah, we can't take no chances. We need guys that know the plays." Like you know what I'm saying?
Hardman got 12 targets, caught 9.
Yeah.
They really, without CEH, are like, down a weapon, and the next guy's going to be up, So he's a good play, even if Hill is there.
Yeah. After talking to you guys, now it's like, nah, you like, and by asking me that question, putting me on a spot about like the chances that the Washington is leading. Now I'm like, then why wouldn't I play Darrell Williams?
There's a lot of touchdowns,
Yeah.
and like, how do you like capitalize and correlate to get the most of them?
Man.
It's like the way to figure that out.
Well,
I like McLaurin a lot.
all right, so we can do McLaurin. Joe, you cool with McLaurin for this team?
Yeah, I'm cool with McLaurin.
All right. So we now have some correlation action. Are we going full correlation throwing Mahomes, or are we gonna go with Lamar or a different quarterback? I don't know. Just Lamar because
I don't think we need to get
don't need to go to Mahomes.
all of Mahomes if we have Kelsey and maybe
I don't want Mahomes.
Okay.
if we put Kelsey and like Hardman in there.
Yeah.
That's our KC's, exposure. Would you be opposed to having like Lamar, like having a double tight end team with Mark Andrews?
I did think about that for a second. I'm always a little nervous because like I feel like we can just get a bigger ceiling by playing a receiver in the flex. But I was tempted. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm thinking like if we think Lamar is gonna be popular, we think Kelsey. We know Kelsey's gonna be popular. That's like you play Lamar with Andrews instead or some shit, or like you said, play them both, right? Because Andrews should be pretty low for the spot he's in, coming off a massive game because of Kelsey. So I'm not totally opposed to it.
Njoku ripped up the Chargers last week.
He
Kelsey ripped them up last week.
I think Hooper and Njoku both had decent games, right?
And Andrews is coming off like his career game. I don't know. I feel like.
And isn't Watkins like injured? Like he may miss.
What are you thinking? Like Lamar and Andrews? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you could put Brown in this lineup too, but you don't have to.
Well, let's
then you need a Charger to put it back.
Let's click in Lamar. Let's start with that.
I want Eckler.
I'm good with Eckler.
Okay.
Joe, you good with Eckler?
Yeah.
All right, we got.
Okay, Joe. How confident are you that the Chargers will lead this game?
This is the questions that ruin dreams. They crush your spirit. You think you know?
I actually think that like I said it before, the Ravens coming off of playing almost 5 quarters on a short week,
and they've had to make like back-to-back like heroic comebacks.
Yes,
that's exhausting.
Will play into the Chargers' hands. I think the Chargers will come out really fast. Now, whether they win the game or not, I think that what I saw last week, the Chargers are better than the Colts. They won't give up that lead. They'll keep pedal to metal. They won't play for field goals. They'll play for touchdowns. Like the Colts are playing for field goals at the end. Staley's not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to keep on the pedal no matter what, knowing that Lamar can come back. So I think the Chargers get up. I think it's way more than a 50% chance the Chargers get ahead.
Okay. What percent chance that they blow out the Ravens?
I think that there's a 20% chance.
20% chance. What percent chance that the Ravens blow the Chargers out? Because the Ravens are 3-point favorites.
No, they're 2.5 point dogs. I thought that's what I saw. I thought they're 2.5 point dogs.
What do you see, Chris? I see them -3, the Ravens, but I'm only looking at one site, one source.
I'll check. I'm pulling it up right now.
I got something. But what do you think, CK? Like, how do you think that game flows?
I think it stays pretty tight, man. I think that both teams could start out slow and it could still end up a high-scoring deal, right? Because they both got explosive teams, man. The way Mike Williams is playing, the way Lamar is playing, and like you said, the defense.
You're right, Paulie. You're right, Paulie.
You know, one thing I'll say, obviously, and I think it's why everybody likes Lamar, but the Chargers, man, y'all got ran on hard and long, like double running back style. You know what I mean? Like Baker didn't really have to do shit. And so, yeah, this is a situation where I just don't see either team being able to put the other one away fully. I don't know. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I'm in favor of the Chargers winning this game. I think it could be close. They could blow them out. I don't think they get blown out. I think if they lose, they're still in it pretty close. I don't think Baltimore has like the capability to blow them out. I could be wrong, but that's kind of where I stand. I think it's probably close because it's in Baltimore and they're just a veteran, prideful team. But like, I'm not convinced like they're like in competition to like make the AFC championship this year. I think there's a couple teams that are better than them in the AFC. I think the Chargers win this game. I think they're like on a roll. Baltimore's like they had to survive Detroit, like last second longest field goal in the history of NFL. And then this comeback win, overtime, like you said, Joey, like night game. It's hard to see Baltimore being just like super fresh. And they had guys with COVID not too long ago. Like, the Chargers are healthier than I thought they were, and like that means a lot. So like the state of the team for the Chargers is really good. The only negative is that they're going across the country, which they haven't done well, and that's like a tough.
I mean, in fairness to the Chargers, they've already gone and played 2 early games, one in Washington week 1, and then they beat Kansas City week 3, and that was an early game to them, and they've won both games on the road. So, this team is resilient. I think honestly, I think it's a great game to stack. Go away from KC Washington. I think it could produce just as much if you were to stack.
It definitely could. 100% could. 100%.
So where are we at now? So
did we put Eckler?
Yeah. We got Lamar, Eckler, McLaurin, Kelsey. That's what we got so far.
Let's get a defense up.
All right, let's do it.
Wait, didn't we put the Ravens tight end too? So we have the.
Do we want to do that double flex style, LD style? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got to pair
Get
Lamar.
different. That's right. That's right.
Question.
Get different. Yeah,
No
get
question.
different.
So defense is, it's tough, man. I don't know. I kind of either go like Carolina, maybe like.
There are not cheap defenses that are like going to be like the popular, but like I'm like way more cool playing a Ravens at really cheap. Like I know they're going to give you a floor and maybe you get some upside. Like I'm cool playing the Chargers for cheap. Like I'm not afraid of playing some of those teams. The Cowboys, they're not that cheap. So like it really depends like how much money we have. You know what I mean?
What about
How much
like
money do you have?
what's weird? It's like, what about a team like Houston? Like they're playing Indy.
I don't mind them.
You could see him sacking Wentz a few times, or Wentz making a mistake and having to pick.
Yeah, Wentz is due for a nice stinker. He looked pretty good against Baltimore. He looked pretty good on national. He's due for like a, Wentz game. You know what I mean? I don't want to wish no injury on the dude. That's really what he's due for. I don't want to wish that on nobody. I don't want nobody to get hurt.
Okay, so out of all these offenses, which one is the worst? Okay, you want, Baltimore, the Rams, the Chargers, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, or KC. It's like
offenses.
Yeah, Indianapolis or Cincinnati are the two that you would, kind of go for. To me, it's like maybe the Texans, just put them in there. They're 2,200. It's cheap as hell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really have an argument.
Because we have 4,400 left for the rest of the team with 3 spots to go. That's a lot.
I've been putting defenses all season, so it's like fuck it. Yeah, man, because McLaurin and Lamar. I know. We might need Dick Cock from Kansas City, bro.
Yep.
Or Hardman.
We don't have a spot for him, right?
We have one running back open. Yeah.
Running back, 2 receivers.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Dirty style.
I mean, I either say we go like McKissick or Williams or Macaulay Hardman. Those are the.
I just don't want to use Hardman unless I know that kills out. Yeah, especially because we're not even using Mahomes. So now we've got 2. At that point, we've got 2 receiving options from Kansas City without their quarterback. Like, I would rather, if we're going to use 2 Chiefs, I'd rather use the running back because at least then there's opportunity for scores without Mahomes. You're not missing out on as much. You know what I mean?
All right, so we put Darrell Williams in there. That leaves us 40-50 for 2 players per play.
I like Van Jefferson at 3-4 against the Giants.
What we're going to need is that.
He stuck out to me too, Paulie.
The Giants do have one really good corner who has shadowed a receiver every game. Like, I think he's going to go to Woods, right?
Well, he's definitely not going to Jefferson either way.
Right. But whoever he guards is probably going to have like a lower target kind of day. Like, if it's Cup, he doesn't get like 15 targets. He probably gets like 6, 7. And then like Jefferson's been the clear kind of like sharing number 2 with Woods up until last game. The Giants can get beat deep. Like, I could see Jefferson at 3-4. Like, he's got like a high like average yards per play. So if he catches 4 balls, you're assuming he's over 50 yards. That's 9 points. Like, is he not going to get that this week?
I think him, the two value receivers in every build that I messed around with, I needed some serious value receivers because of just and it was him and Deshaun Jackson. Those were the two guys that I kept.
Deshaun,
you know what I mean? Like I was like, all right, one of these dudes.
Deshaun could get you a 1, but like I'm so confident he catches a bomb. He's done that to the Giants his whole career, and like they're giving him those shots. Like last game he didn't catch it. He had I forget what his stat line was, but it wasn't anything that you wished you would be mad if you played him. Like,
so I guess what it comes down to is what we're left with. Because if we go Jefferson, we got 4,900. We got AJ Green, Renfro, Robbie Anderson, Moore from Arizona. Or if we go with Deshaun, then obviously we're sacrificing somebody. I think Deshaun Jackson's 37, so that leaves us with 46.
More?
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson's more expensive. Rondale Moore, Pascal, Higgins from Cleveland. Hardman's 42. So I guess we might as well just go with
you could use both of them and
upgrade Williams or some shit, right? We could do that. But then I don't know. Well, for this example, let's just go with Van Jefferson. That was both you guys' first instinct, and I could stomach that.
How much that
49. So we got like AJ Green, Renfro, Robbie Anderson. I like Robbie Anderson. Paulie, do you like AJ Green?
I do too. Yeah, I'm cool with Robbie Anderson. Like this is a good spot for him. I do like AJ Green. He had some opportunities last game. I got to do research on the Browns because AJ Green is like only against zone. He does not do well against man. So I got to see like what they're going to be throwing at him before I make that decision. But if not AJ Green, Rondale Moore, they're trying to get him the ball. He looks electric. He looks hard to tackle. Like, oof, he's got upside too. There's a bunch like Darnell Mooney, I could see having a decent day. He's a little bit cheaper, but we could like upgrade to D or something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't mind being AJ Green. I mean, that Cleveland secondary got murdered last week.
They did.
And they weren't playing man-to-man. I mean, Mike Williams was just like nobody was around him for a few of those plays. Like, it was amazing. Like
Mike Williams is a fucking beast, man.
Yeah.
He's a freaking man amongst boys out there, son.
I mean, but he kind of reminds me of AJ Green, 10 years ago?
Yeah, 10 years ago, yeah.
When AJ Green first started, I totally agree with that. I have Mike Williams on every one of my season-long teams, which is 3. And it's been glorious so far. I hope it just keeps going. Yeah,
man, you beat my wife.
I don't see why.
With the Mike Williams, man. That was a big part of that. I was like, oh, shit, Amy's going to get her first win. She's going to beat Paulie. And then Mike Williams said, nah. And the game was sort of like 100 points. Some crazy shit.
Yeah.
All right, so we can go Robbie Anderson or AJ Green. It's either or. If you're listening, if you dare to use this team that we build on a fucking Thursday morning or Wednesday
That'd be
night.
so great if someone popped.
Yeah, the donkey or something, man. That'd be nice.
Something sick with the lineup we didn't even remember making.
Yeah. That none of us played. That'd be awesome. All right.
Yeah,
let's go over the.
Okay, I got a question.
Right.
It's like related to football, but off topic. Okay, how is it that the Cowboys-Patriots game has been surging higher and opened at like, I don't know, 40 something? What they open at the Cowboys or whatever? 48 to 52, and they're now the 3rd highest game on the board. Cowboys visiting the Patriots. You guys see like that as a shootout game and.
Not at all.
I mean, to me though, me
neither. How is it surging up 4 points? And the Cardinals game has dropped 4.5, according to what I'm looking at.
I wonder what the weather's going to be like in Cleveland. I could see if the wind kicks up or something. I could see that.
Yep, having an impact for sure. I'm gonna check that. But like, I respect Dallas. I've actually been funneling money into their. Win the Super Bowl prop like every day, a couple like $30, $25. I got it up to like $1.25 now. I'm just gonna keep doing it until their odds drop, but they're like 12-1 right now. I like their team. I'm really impressed with their team. I hate to say it, I'm a Giants fan, but they are fucking legit, talented, and good, and they are a problem in the NFC for everybody.
I agree, man.
But I don't see the Patriots hanging with them at all.
No,
you do?
I agree. I agree with the Cowboys. That dude Diggs is a baller.
Game changer.
Like that.
That's like the Jets getting Revis, and all of a sudden they were like the best
It's
defense.
like he looks like DK Metcalf on defense. Like it's not even fair.
I know, it's freakish. I know. I've never he really stands out as like a guy that's going to be dominant. And that linebacker that they drafted in the first round from Penn State, like he can tackle that kid.
Yo,
like
I've seen Diggs get burnt several times and still make it up. And just make it up and get the ball.
Yeah, he's a bit of a risk taker because his stats show yes, he does have all these interceptions and great plays, but he's also gotten toasted a lot. He's a risk taker right now. He's still kind of coming into his own, but
I mean,
I think the sky's the limit for that guy.
Why wouldn't you be a risk taker when even if the guy gets you on a double move, you're going to be able to catch him anyway? I've seen him get burned on a double move and still catch the dude and break up the pass. But I agree. I think Dak Prescott is very good. I mean, CeeDee Lamb hasn't had a touchdown in how long, and they're still winning games.
They don't need two very good running backs, a very good offensive line.
It's crazy.
That's a good team. It's a really good team.
My brother-in-law can't hear this though, so I have to make sure he don't tune in. All right, Joe, you ready? We about to hop over to FanDuel, man. Yeah. It's your world, Squirrel. I'm just trying to get a nut. Who we starting with on FanDuel?
Yeah, we're just gonna start basic. I'm gonna go with Lamar as just a quarterback to start off with.
How does his price compare to Mahomes on FanDuel?
Mahomes is $9K and Lamar is $82.
It's similar. I mean,
similar gap. Maybe not as atrocious as DraftKings.
Yeah. No. But then I want to move down to defense, and defense slumming it. Once again, I don't know. It just seems like Texans at 3,400 are just, from the offense that they're playing, they should be priced a little bit more. I just don't think that Indy is that good of an offense. So let's just do that for our purposes right now. But probably as the week changes, that defense will emerge to kind of go with the chalk.
So we're going Houston for now, right?
What?
Gotcha.
Yeah. High end Kelsey is 8,500 compared to Waller, which is 7K. I wouldn't mind just fading Kelsey on that format right now and going to Mark Andrews and just locking him in at 6,300 if we were going to do a tournament team on.
Oh, this. Yeah, man. I mean, PPR 7K versus 8,500 touchdown dependent. It's I'm with you 100%, especially with the Lamar thing. So I'm good. I mean, it makes sense to me on FanDuel. Mark Andrews over Kelsey. We don't got to do that. I don't think we got to do the double tight end here if we don't want to.
No. And then receiving wise, I think that if you wanted to bring it back with Keenan Allen at 7,100, because I think everybody will go to Mike Williams.
You mean the Chargers beta receiver?
Yeah, the Chargers.
He's definitely he's the beta receiver now, bro.
Yeah. Keenan Allen's had some uncharacteristic drops too, which is really weird. I've been watching the last few weeks and it's just crazy. I also
Who's the number one tight end for the Chargers?
Jared Cook.
Yeah, Cook.
Yeah.
But they have other guys that get target, Parham has caught 2 touchdowns last year.
He's touchdown on nothing.
Might be taking
He's touchdown on nothing.
Yeah.
Parham. You could find him in the end zone.
Parham's a weapon in the red zone.
What was it? XFL, right? He was doing dirties in the XFL for us.
So running back. So at running back, I don't mind.
So wait, we're going with Keenan Allen, right?
Yeah, you're going fast.
Yeah,
Keenan Fadrina. Joe's already ready, bro. He already had it in. We were talking about DraftKings. He was already equating. He was already translating it to FanDuel.
He's just locked in with his squad. He's feeling it. They're hot. And he's let's jump on a band.
He's right now on his phone as he's talking. He's booking a flight to Baltimore to go. He's about to game stack it. He's going. He's doing 150 teams all this game. Let's go.
And I know that it's a half point PPR site, but Cincinnati gives up the most catches to running backs out of the backfield. And I feel like we could get a mini stack with maybe DeAndre Swift and then kicking it back with Jamar Chase. I think that game in the dome could shoot out to the point to be okay. What do you say, Paulie? What do you think about that?
What, the Cincinnati Detroit game?
Yeah.
Sure,
You know,
it could shoot out. Did you say Chase with
I said Chase with Swift.
with Swift? Yeah, I mean, who's gonna argue that? You know, and like, I don't think Chase is gonna be popular on either side because he's so expensive. You know, like he's 100 less than Justin Jefferson. Like, you know, like the sites usually are slow on rookies as they become great, but they just exploded with Chase's price on both sides.
All right, so peep this. Okay, peep this.
Peep this.
CK.
He's on fire.
CK. Lock in Swift and Chase.
All right.
And then that gives us a receiver spot and a flex. Now with our last receiver spot, lock in Scary Terry at 7,400. Then that leaves us with 7,500 at the flex.
Wait, who was the other running back? We got Swift or
Swift and Daryl.
well, okay. Yeah, we skipped over that. It was just assumed.
It was like obviously
It was just assumed that Daryl Williams came already included
so fired up
on the FanDuel bills. Understood. Okay, got you. All right, 75 in the flex. Show who's the guy.
All right. So then our options are either, Jonathan Taylor, but we have the Houston D. I don't really like that. Kareem Hunt is a little high price for that. I don't mind Darrell Henderson.
No.
You don't like that, Paulie?
I mean, I prefer him on DraftKings 7-3 for Darrell Henderson.
So then I would say either at that point, then you lock in either CeeDee Lamb or Marquise Brown, and you really have that stack. And then you pay up more at defense. That'll leave us with 500 more.
Yeah, I want to discuss putting what's his name from San Diego into this squad. Honestly, like Keenan Allen, in my opinion, is more so a DraftKings play. And
Mike Williams,
like for that money, you're gonna take a risk on Keenan Allen, is he even the number 2 option right now? I think no. I think Eckler is, and I think he really likes throwing the tight ends in the red zone. Like, how is Keenan Allen going to score touchdowns? Like, doesn't run after the catch, the possession receiver. Like, I deny that. We got to pick a different charger and rebuild a little bit.
I will say this though. I'm cool with rebuilding. Everything Paulie said does make sense based off of what's happened, but I do believe in touchdown regression. Right, at some point he's gonna get some touchdown. He's got definitely 1 touchdown.
My thought process was that I just think that if you're building a stack in this team, the public will go to Mike Williams.
You think so?
Yes.
I think they go to Eckler.
Well, they might. I just think they might have both of them, and I just think Keenan Allen at 7,100 might go a little bit under-owned.
Yeah, I get it.
He can't have that. That was my thought process. I'm not saying that Williams has definitely outperformed. But anyways, that leaves us with 6,600. At that point, I will hammer Cortland Sutton against the Raiders in that terrible secondary. I think the Raiders are going to get steamrolled.
Toasted.
So there's our lineup right there, CK.
I think it's good. I'm gonna say it because I can't share my screen because my computer's all fucked. But Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Swift, Darrell Williams, Mike Williams, Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin, Mark Andrews, Cortland Sutton. Right, and then we got the Houston D in there. I think that's a good little squad, man.
Put it up for him, Joey. Can we talk about running back as a whole as a position a little bit? Because we just pretty much threw in 3 guys, and this position is deep and intriguing. There's ways to go. First of all, what's the likelihood McCaffrey plays? Does anyone know yet?
They said it was 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah. So the industry's leaning. He's probably not going to play.
Yeah, I think the industry's just assuming he's not going to play. I don't know. They're hoping he's not going to play because they want to stack Mahomes and Lamar and all these players. So I think but if he gets ruled in, that's going to flip everything. Because you're not going to ignore McCaffrey against Minnesota.
Not on FanDuel though. He's 10K.
Agreed.
Oh my goodness. But DraftKings at 8.8. Oh my God. Yeah, people want to play.
FanDuel never been about nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. But after that, there's interesting things at the position. I guess it's we almost have to have two different conversations per site based on like who's priced where.
Mm.
But like, do you guys like any of those pay ups on DraftKings, like in a 6,200 to 79 to Eckler, basically? Like any of those other guys, or do you think any of them will be
Man,
popular?
I think the biggest, like, you talk about the position. If you look on DraftKings and go to there, everybody's got a Q tag. Everybody. It's just it's just red city. It's just so
Mhm.
that's another thing to consider, man. Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon's definitely on that, but just in general, like everybody's coming
Yeah.
in questionable. So, and you're one thing that you're like right to point out on this is this could really change ownership. Like come down the road, some shit
Mhm.
breaks out, C-Mac's in. All right, well maybe they will come down. They might still play Kelsey, but maybe they will come down from Tyreek Hill to be able to afford somebody else. Maybe they will come down from Pat
Right,
Mahomes
right.
to afford somebody else. So that is a really good point.
Yeah. Like there's so many large injury news that can like dramatically change the shape. Like Tyreek Hill gets ruled in.
Right.
Like Kelsey's ownership goes down a tad. Maybe Mahomes goes up, like
That's a good point.
he's out, like there's a bunch of those
It's
still.
a really good point. I mean, Dalvin and McCaffrey, they're playing each other. They're both underpriced to where, on DraftKings anyway, to where we would normally play. I mean, Dalvin Cook is 7-7, you know? 7.
Yeah.
So, C-Mac is 8-8. It's crazy.
I'm assuming both are like out.
I'm
though.
assuming
like,
that too.
until they're ruled in, I'm just assuming they're not playing. Say they're out, like
Then what?
who does the field go to? Like, does Nick Chubb get popular? Does Aaron Jones get popular against the
Well,
Bears?
I mean, I think like Madison.
Jonathan Taylor against Houston could be popular.
Jonathan Taylor could be. I think Madison would get some love against Carolina. Just because he's been good,
They've been great against the run,
Yeah.
though. Like, I don't
No,
know.
I agree. I'm not that into Madison, but I think that people would just ride the hot hand, And then
Joe, who's going to be popular?
On DK?
DraftKings, yeah.
I mean, I think that DeAndre Swift at 6,300 with the PPR aspect, I like him. Daryl
And
Henderson.
Quintus Cephas is out, and Hawkinson's dealing with an injury, so like they have less weapons. His share can increase.
The game script could be to where they need to pass more.
Did Joe Mixon get hurt in the last game?
No, he's
he actually
projected to play.
He played. He just had light work that day, huh?
They were trailing.
Gotcha.
Most
yeah, that's right. Packers.
Were they?
Yeah, I believe so.
It was kind of really close. It was like back and forth close, but yeah, I think they're trailing most.
Okay.
I think if Akeem Hicks is out for the Bears, I think that makes Aaron Jones.
But he's like sharing now. It's so weird.
Hmm.
I don't think Aaron Jones will be popular. Right?
No, he's not going to be popular.
No.
Devontae Adams is going to be popular, right? After what he just did, and like their short weapons.
Honestly,
right?
neither of them may be popular because we have other games, and this is Chicago. You know what I mean? It's Chicago. I mean that's a good point. We could see the Packers go extremely low on. It's because people don't like picking on a bear, and Hicks is a big deal. You know what I mean? It's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal.
That's a good point.
I personally think Jonathan Taylor is going to be popular at 6'6" against Houston. Their defense is terrible. He just had that long ass reception and 15 carries.
Which was like it. It's just like his yard is outside of that long ass touchdown run. He didn't, it was nothing.
No, I know.
And what about Zeke?
Yeah.
It's Houston.
Oh well, if Zeke gets ruled out, I mean Pollard.
Zeke against Patriots? No, Zeke's not going to get ruled out, is he?
I think Zeke's a good play. That's the thing.
I agree. I think you can run on the Patriots. Like even the Jets averaged like almost 5 yards a carry against the Patriots. It wasn't a ton, but like I think you can run on the Patriots. I think Dallas has a top 5 O-line, and they're going to continue to be very good with the run. But I'm like, I don't know. The game went up 4 points, but like to me, this is like a slower pace, lower scoring. Both teams want to run. The Patriots can't really score very well kind of game. But everything else is starting to say like otherwise. I'm cool with Zeke, but there's other weapons too on Dallas. I don't know. You guys don't like the Cleveland running backs against Arizona at all?
I mean, honestly, bro, I'm a little hesitant to attack Arizona's defense. To be honest with you, like
you can run.
I just like it's tough to get on board with like Chubb because they will just They cut off his ceiling. Is
Just go to Hunt, yeah.
Because Hunt goes in there and it sucks.
Does suck.
Yeah, it does. But like Aaron Jones isn't like, what's his name's been eating up some of that market share. Zeke is not the number one guy. Pollard's eating into him. Pollard and Zeke is identical to Chubb and Hunt. Like they're like all splits except for Austin Eckler, and that's why he's like one of the best.
That's why we're putting receivers in the flex now. That's part of the reason. Yeah, we don't got those guys and those bell cows anymore. One guy who's kind of fit that bell cow role. Not that he's shown like he isn't, but Najee Harris not on the slate. He's kind of had that role.
He's a true running back bell cow.
Juju's out for the season, right? He's not on the slate.
Yep.
What you gonna do? 7-3-2.
Not on the slate.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, so we'll do this. We'll leave the cliffhanger. We each got articles right over the weekend. If you're not a member of whitesake.com, go check it out. Paulie D does his tournament breakdown. Patio Joe with the cash game breakdown. I do a little core plays thing. We got projections, cheat sheets, all that shit. So go check us out. In the meantime, we'll do our best bets and get the fook up out of here, as Conor McGregor would say. And who wants to go first? I have to actually look. I haven't fucking looked.
I'll go first.
Joey, let me guess. Chargers.
No. This was
Chargers
easy.
over.
You were talking about this game, and I wanted to save it because it was my best bet from it. I'm taking the Cowboys and laying 3.5 points. Like I'll take that.
That's such a sketchy fucking total. I can't. You pointed it out to me. I can't get it in my fucking head now. Why 52? Why?
The Patriots are implied for 24.25 points. Like
it's like.
What? They only scored 20 against the Jets. Like
that's confusing.
I'm confused by that too.
Is Dallas D good? I'll lay the 3.5 points, and I'm taking the Cowboys.
I get it. Totally get it. Paulie, you got one yet?
Yeah, sure. Redskins plus 6.5 at home against the Chiefs. Chiefs are not in a good place. The Redskins have hung tight in basically every game. And I think they could win this game outright. I'm not saying they are, but I think they're live to do that. I think the Chiefs, they're in a little bit of trouble. They're really banged up. I don't see them smoking anyone, and that line is completely inflated by their reputation.
No doubt. I'm gonna do a double cheat. Number one, I'm taking a Thursday night football game. Get that out the way. So if I lose, my losing is isolated to Thursday. It has nothing to do with Sunday. And I'm going to go as square as can be and go with Tampa Bay laying a 7 on the road against Philly, man. It's going to just put that out there. Wow. Laying the lumber.
How is that line not
I don't
10?
know. I don't know.
Philly is awful.
Philly's awful. Tampa Bay looks good. Tom Brady's having like a career year. Like I don't think he's ever looked this good. Like he looks fucking good.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. And all the talk down here in South Florida is how Tommy's going for the all-time like single season touchdown record, and like it's a thing.
Always a thing.
Like they're gonna just pile things up when they can. They're gonna continue to score. They're not gonna lay off at all. But I don't know. But to me, like that is like the trappiest favorite.
On a short week, absolutely.
On a Thursday night.
It's as square as you can get. It's like it's the squarest bet. It's more square than the Kansas City Chiefs against Washington. Like it's the biggest like fish bet out there. But I can't. How is it not 10? I'm with you. How is it not 10? I think it should be 10. I don't know. I think it should be 10, maybe 11. Yeah.
Do you want to know what my site's telling me is the most popular bet, like where the all the action is going? Like who's the most? The Chargers.
Joey Joe.
90% have bet on the Chargers.
Wow.
Plus 3 against the Ravens.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I Chargers after that game last week, but that's too lopsided. That's just too. I mean, these teams they're both good teams, man. They're both solid teams. They got dangerous weapons. Like, I get it, but like for 90% of the people,
the Chargers could totally lose this game.
Yeah,
come on,
I agree. It wouldn't be a bad. It wouldn't even be a bad loss. It's a good fucking team across the country. You know what I'm saying? Like they're coming off a game where they had to come back from whatever the wins. Like both teams got momentum, whatever you want to say. Craziness. But all right, nation, it's gonna do it for this week of the NFL Wide Stream. Appreciate those of you who hung out with us live. Appreciate those of you who listen or watch after the fact. Please hit the like button on your way out if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss out any of the free fire DFS content we put out. Anything in closing? Joe, you first.
Nah, man, just good luck. It's week 6. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling.
Paulie.
Same here, dog.
For myself, the entire Wise Take Nation, as always. Shit. Good luck.
Peace.